For the past few years, the whole story in AI has been bigger is better, right? But what if the next huge leap forward is actually about going smaller? Yeah, let's get into it. Today, we're talking all about small language models, SLMs. And trust me, these little powerhouses are about to totally change the game.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Check this out. This is a prediction from Gartner. They're saying that by 2027, that's just around the corner, organizations are going to be using these small, task-specific AI models 3 times more than the giant, general-purpose ones we're always hearing about. I mean, think about that. That is a massive shift, and it's exactly why we need to wrap our heads around SLMs right now.
Okay, so here's the plan for today. First, we'll look at this big trend, why the AI world is shrinking. Then, we'll get right into what a small language model even is. After that, how they're made, why AI agents love them so much, and of course, where you can see them in the real world today. And we'll finish up by looking at what all this means for the future.
All right, first up, the AI world is shrinking.
For the longest time, the dream in AI was kind of like building this one giant, all-knowing brain that could do absolutely everything, a generalist. But what we're seeing now is a huge pivot, a move towards creating a whole ecosystem of specialists. It's not about one big brain anymore, it's about a team of focused experts. The AI world isn't just expanding, it's getting smarter by getting smaller. So who's the star of this new, specialized show? Well, let's meet the small language model. And I want to be really clear here. This isn't just about taking a big AI and hitting a shrink button. Nope, an SLM is built on a totally different philosophy.
Okay, here's the core idea. An SLM is a model that basically says, I'm not going to try to be a jack of all trades. It has way fewer parameters. You can think of those as the little knobs and dials inside the model that help it think. And by giving up that massive general knowledge, it gets something incredible in return. Insane efficiency, super fast speed, and a price tag that's just way, way lower.
And this slide just lays it all out perfectly. On one side, you've got the LLMs we all know. We're talking billions of parameters, they're super memory hungry, cost a fortune to train, and they pretty much live in the cloud. But then look at the SLMs. They're lean. We're talking millions, not billions of parameters. They sip memory, have almost zero delay, and, this is the big one, they're perfect for running right on your phone, right in your car, on the edge.
Okay, so these things sound awesome, right? These efficient little experts, but how do you actually make one? It's not as simple as just telling the computer to build a smaller model. Oh no, there's some seriously clever engineering that goes into this.
It really comes down to 3 main techniques: quantization, pruning, and distillation. Now, each one is a super interesting way to make a model smaller without losing its smarts. So let's break them down one by one. First up, we've got quantization. And the analogy here is just perfect. Imagine you have this gigantic, super high-res photo file. It's massive, right? A pain to upload or send. But then you save it as a JPEG. The file gets way, way smaller, but the picture still looks fantastic. That's exactly what quantization does to an AI model. It reduces the precision of all the numbers inside, making the whole thing lighter and faster, but it keeps the quality high.
Next up, pruning. And again, this analogy is just spot on. Think of a bonsai artist. They're not just hacking at the tree, right? They're carefully, precisely trimming away the little branches that aren't really necessary, the ones that don't add to the overall shape. Pruning does the same thing to the AI's neural network. It finds and snips away the connections that aren't really helping, leaving you with a model that's more elegant, more efficient, and a whole lot faster.
And our third technique is called distillation. This one is all about knowledge transfer. Imagine you have a master chef, that's your big, powerful teacher model. Now, instead of making an apprentice read 1,000 cookbooks, the master chef just shows them how to make the perfect dish. The apprentice, our student model, learns directly from the master's refined technique. It mimics the teacher's outputs, capturing all that wisdom in a much smaller, more compact package.
Okay, so we know what SLMs are. We know the clever ways they're built. But where do they really come into their own? Well, the answer is with AI agents. These are the AIs that are designed to actually do things in the world, to take action, and to do that, they need exactly what SLMs offer: speed, focus, and specialization. But here's the thing. The real magic isn't about SLMs replacing the big guys. Not at all. It's about teamwork. The most powerful systems are going to use both: the giant, brainy LLMs working together with these fast, nimble SLMs. So what does that actually look like? Let's go through 4 really smart strategies for making them work together.
Strategy number 1, intelligent routing. The best way to think about this is like a super smart receptionist or a dispatcher. A special router module takes a look at every incoming request. Is it something simple, like a quick question? Boom, it sends it over to the fast, cheap SLM. Is it something really complex that needs a lot of creative thought? Okay, that one goes to the big, powerful LLM. It's just using the right tool for the job every single time.
Second strategy is what we call a pipeline collaboration. This is like an assembly line. The SLM is at the start of the line, doing all the initial prep work, maybe filtering through a bunch of data or pulling out the important keywords. Once that's done, it passes its neatly prepared package down the line to the LLM, who does the final deep dive analysis. It just makes the whole operation way more efficient.
Okay, strategy 3 is pretty cool. It's called parallel verification, and it's all about giving you the best of both worlds, speed and accuracy. So, imagine you ask a question, and it gets sent to both models at the exact same time. The SLM fires back an answer almost instantly. It's fast and probably pretty good. Meanwhile, the big LLM is taking its time, double-checking, refining, and improving that answer in the background. So you get a response right away, and then you actually see it get better in real time. And our final strategy is maybe the most efficient one: conditional activation. This is all about saving money and energy. Here's how it works. The SLM always gets the first shot at a problem. If it looks at the question and goes, "Yep, I got this, 99% confident," then you're done. Problem solved. The big, expensive LLM never even has to wake up. It only gets activated if and only if the SLM says, I'm not so sure about this one. It's just a super smart way to manage resources.
Okay, this all sounds great on paper, right? But is anyone actually doing this stuff in the real world? The answer is a huge, resounding yes. So let's shift gears from theory to practice and look at how some of the biggest companies out there are already using SLMs.
Right now, we're really seeing 3 big categories pop up. First, you have the privacy-focused stuff. Think about processing sensitive patient data in a hospital right on a local device without ever sending it to the cloud. Second, there are the high-volume, low-cost jobs, things like scanning millions of receipts or analyzing customer sentiment. And third, you have the hyper-specialized expert. This is where you train an SLM to be an absolute master of one thing and one thing only, like your company's specific code base.
And check out the companies that are already on this train. We're talking heavy hitters. Uber is using SLMs for pre-processing queries in their internal knowledge systems. Even OpenAI, the company that made the giant models, is using smaller models as guardrails to check for safety and relevance. And then you have Microsoft, using them to manage super complex things like their cloud supply chain. This isn't some future tech. This is happening right now with the biggest players in the game. So, when you take a step back and look at all this, what's the big picture? It's that the future of AI probably isn't one single giant all-knowing brain. It's much more interesting than that. It's an entire ecosystem, a team of AIs, where the big generalist LLMs work side by side with whole squads of these fast, efficient, specialist SLMs. And that really leaves us with one final, fascinating question to chew on. As these powerful little experts get small enough and cheap enough to live right on our phones, right in our pockets, what will they become for you? What will be your first personal AI specialist? Will it be an expert legal assistant? A coding partner that knows your style perfectly? A medical helper? The question really isn't if this is coming, it's what your first pocket-sized expert is going to be.